easy mode. Clearly. And then proof by contradiction. Not much else, however. On 2s, I already solved, I think, all the 8s, which I think is resolved. Yeah, that's a solved puzzle. And I don't like this version, but I'll play it anyway. So 1, 1, 1, this is the only one that it can be. And so it has to be 1 in here. And so it has to be 1 somewhere else here. And that solves all of that. And then there's the 1 there, so this has to be a 1 here. And then all the 1s are done. And this has too many hints or assistances, which I don't normally have, which is fine sometimes. We need a 4 somewhere, and then the only 4 you can have is on this section. So the 4 has to be in this column, and they can only be in this block, really. And then the 4 has to be in this square, because there's already 4 in this row. So it's like, yeah, there's more hints about this than normal Sudoku. For sure. And giggles. So this is blocked, this is blocked, this is the only 4 it can be. And then this is blocked, this is open, there are 2 spaces, so no givens. And then, so it cannot be here, and it can be here, so not clear. And then there's also 2 in this box, or this box. There's no like sketching as well of tiny numbers to represent like a guess or something. And also when you do something like this, you see like it's so easy to see all the 5s. That means 5 has to be, and then you can just see, is it in that row? And it could be here or there. It has to be in one of those 2 spots. All the rest of the numbers are filled in, so it has to be there. So then that leaves the middle, bottom one. And if it were to go there, that means, well, it has to go somewhere in this column. And for this box, it can't go here, it can't go there, it has to go here. So that's solved. That was an easy solve. The remaining number in this block is the same for both, and that's 9. Oh, there's an X button for removing numbers, because if you do something like this, it'll say, no, that's wrong, on 2 counts, so you can exit. That's handy. Oh, you can candidate? I thought it was collaborate. Let's just pick a random other number. Again, hints are galore. So you can only put a 3 in this row here. You can't, because it would be blocked by that. I use the blocked method a lot. So this one is blocked by those 2 3s, so it has to be here. And then this one is the only number remaining is 9. Again. So then this one, the only remaining number is 9. And then again, these ones, they don't have enough information. 9 has to be somewhere. This one, the number is 9. Pretty easy. When the walls fell. Let's look at a number. So the number 3 is not solved, so we just have to put a 3 here. That's solved. So that's easy. Number 5 is not solved. So if you were to put a 5 here, for example, it can't work. So in this row, it can't be anywhere except for that. So it's here. And that means that the next 5 can't be here, can't be there, it has to be here. And then it can't be here, can't be there, so it has to be here. And then it can't, and every block has a 5. Fives are, of course, also grayed out, so that's easy to know they are succeeded. 6 just needs a block in here. There you go, 6. This is way too easy mode. The 2. Okay, so we have 2's in multiple places that could be or could not be. Um, oh, that's hard actually. Let's look at 4. 4 is a little more easy, you would hope, because it can't be here, so it has to be in one of these 2 spaces. And of the 2 spaces in this row, it cannot be here because it's blocked by this 4, so it has to be here. And that resolves this, which makes this last number a 2. And we're back to 2 again, which is now, it has to be here. And that solves for this 2. And that solves for this 9. And 4, 4, 4, and 7 years ago there was a 4 here. So 4 is solved, 9 is solved, 9 is solved, 9 is solved, and 2 is solved. 2 is solved. I clicked the wrong thing. Yay! 10 minutes on easy. Let's suck a dick and go on to the next level. Hooray. This one has a lot less information, but we can just immediately tell that the 9s have to be in this or that position. So it doesn't tell us a lot. And then there's 1s. We only have 2 1s. And 5s, well, this 5 blocks here. So it has to be here or here. And of those, I have no more information. 3 is blocked with here and those 2 rows. So they can't be there, so it has to be here or there. And of the 2 of these places, I would say, like, it could be here, here, or here in the center. So it's like, that's not telling. But it does mean that nothing I can think of. I have no clues yet. Oh, wait, hold on. We have 7. That doesn't help. There are only 2 7s. I don't... 8. There are 2 spaces for 8, so that's hard. Um, 6. So many multiplications. 3. 3 has to be in the top row. Again, that's here or there. And then there's not a lot of anything else to go on. 4 is like... Okay, hold on. We got a first number. 4 is blocked by this 4 here, this 4 here, and this 4 is blocked here, so it has to be there. That's our first number. Hooray! Alright, so we move on. Next we have this row or this row for the 4. Can't solve. But we have something. Yay, it took us 2 minutes to get something. But at least we have it. So we have a 4 here or we have a 4 there. Saying it's incorrect, but it's a guess. I don't think it matters that we have a guess. We just have to redo it later. But I don't want to leave it there because I'm just saying that's what I think it is where. I don't know what other candidate means. I don't know what that means. Word-wise, chocolate milk would be great right about now. Pause the game. You can analyze a lot while paused, you know. That's kind of stupid design, but I'm not going to complain super much about it. All right, so if 9 were to go here or there, that's a lot of spaces that it could be. So it can only go here, here, or here. And of those places, suck a dick. I don't know where it can go, but here is something that is blocked, and here is not blocked. So that's a 9 that we have. So the center block is actually showing a lot. It's giving potato chips vibes. I could just eat this up. Hearty. Ooh, here's an interesting factoid. If it's here, it can't be there. And if it's here, there, I can't imagine why I would say it because it's stupid to think it. I didn't resolve anything. Um, again 4 no, again 8 no. Although if 8 and up, then 8 then down, and if 8 then up down, turn it all around. Suck my suck me. 6 has this position, that position, that position, that position. Not a lot of tell. 7. 7 is promising with like 2 positions, but I am not sure of those and doesn't tell of other things. 1 cannot be here, and it can be here, there, and there. Again, not enough to go on. But then if it's blocked here and here, it can only be in those 4 positions. 4 positions is a lot to work with. There's a lot of not explaining. For example, if I were to put a 5 here, it means that the 5 here, 5 here, 5 here, 5 here are all like those are very specific and limited. So it's really only 2 positions considered, or 4 total, where they all cancel out. I'm not getting a lot from this. 2 is like the least amount of information is in 2. So let's go for that first. Just kidding. 5, not seeing it. However, if I were to have one on... Okay. Because 5 is already like there and there, it has to be on the top level. So in this box, it has to be on these levels, which means that if it's blocking here or there, like they could just alternate, and that doesn't tell us anything about this block. But it should be a 5, perhaps, which would mean that this is a 5, and that tracks. But if the 5 is here or there, then the 5 is here, and the 5 can't be here, and it can't be here, so it can't be there. Ah, so we have eliminated a spot where the 5 can be. Because it's blocked everywhere else, it has to be in these 2 spaces. Aha ha ha. So, by knowing that, suck me off. I am doing much worse today with this medium puzzle. But because we know about 7 and they go here and there, that limits that. 5 must go in one of those spaces. Interesting. So that does mean that 5 is in the top rows, which means if the 5 is either here or there, that doesn't mean anything to me. But we know the 5s are here or there. That's also not important. That's not helping. 4 is the biggest number that you'll ever do. 'Cause you'll never get more than 4 of you in the full room. It's a tiny room. 4 can go on the top. 4 can go bottom, 4 can go here, there, and there, and doesn't change a lot. 8, 3, 6. 3 is a big number with a lot of influence. And in fact, because 3 has to go here or there. Oh god, I'm still stuck. Doesn't help me. Into the thick of it. Into the thick of it. Okay. I don't know. Okay, so. Will my face cam on? I don't know. Okay, hold on. What? If an 8 goes here, for example, then another 8 would go here because that's the only place it can go. And then it would have to go here. Right? And then after those eliminations, it leaves us for an 8 here. And then after those eliminations, it leaves us with an 8 here. And then after that elimination, everything leads to the 8 is... No, that's a 7. That's an 8. So 8 is now randomly solved by just picking a spot. Is that correct? I am hoping it is. I am not sure. But that was an interesting, like, scatterbrain shotgun thing where it's like, okay, that I guess that resolves. But is it correct? We don't know. It could clash with a none number that has to be there or something. Some dum dum dum. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so if a 7 can't be there, that means it can be here, here, and here. So then what can be there? Not 9. So what if it's a 1? No. 2? No. 3? No. 4? Maybe. Okay, so if there was a 4 there, then that means there must be a 4 here. And that means there must be a 4 here. And then another 4 has to be in the middle here, because then it's not blocked by all those other 4s, and then the other 4 has to be in here. Right? What a weird... This is not how I would actually solve it. It's like brute forcing, but like I don't know. There's like, you know, oh, a 3 has to go there because there's 3s in places that block everywhere else on the board. So that is an actual known number. This 3 is like the 4th number we've gotten completely correct. It has to be correct. There's no deviation, no chance of it being wrong. Okay, then the other 3 here, for example, blocks this, and this. And so we have like these 2 spaces. And of that, this one is the only one of that. And if we were to consider that, it means it takes the space of this row. But if it does that, then that means a row, it would be here. And then so on and so forth. And that seems to make sense that it would do because of things. Oh, wait, did I? Yeah. No, when that free unlocked, it unlocked a lot of things, actually. For free, you might say. So frees are unlocked. Am I going faster than I expected to be? Or am I just guessing? And who knows, we might find out we're completely wrong at the end. And certain numbers are completely in the wrong positions. Who knows? I would say because there are very few places, 9 could go here. And that's the only way you can get a 9 in that row. So that it has to be the case that 9 goes there is the only truth. Because then 9 is free to go here and there to resolve the other row. This row is resolved by this 9. And then you have the top, which is this one and that one. So it has to be in here or there, which means it has to be in here to not block. But if it's there, then like we have to be like here or there and here or there. And the top is like, I can't resolve 9 just automatically in my brain. But of these numbers, there's a 5, which should be solvable. Because if it's blocked here, there, and there, 5 can only go here. That's actually obvious. So it has to be here. So it has to be here. Or there. Oh, God. But at least I got those first few 5s correctly. So 5, blah, 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 blah. Well, it has to be out of here. Well, it has to be there. That's the only way it can fit one in the block. The other 5 blocks the other section. And this 5 blocks the other side. So that's the only one for that column. And then that would mean this one is the only way you get 5 in anywhere there. And then here is another 5, and then here's another 5. And that solves 5. Nice. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. I'm sorry. A 9 could go there. Oh, wait. What's this number? This should be obvious. This is a free number. Let's just get it. What is it? 7. Okay, that's an easy 7. It is done now. So then the only other 7 is this one in those column triplet. And then for the other 7 is this one. And then another 7 is also this column, because otherwise the other box can't have a 7. So it is this one. And then another 7 is it can't be anywhere in here or there, and there is the remaining block, and there is the remaining block, and there is the remaining block. 7 is resolved. So then in here, there's only 6, which you can only get one in this column if you put it here, and the other 6 is here in the other column, and then you have a 6 here, because that's the only one of that box that can do that. Here is a 2. The 1 can only go here, and the remaining number is again 2. And then we have 1 conflict, because oh shit, I've pooched the screw. This is the only place in that box where a 1 can be, so that can't be where the 1... We have screwed everything. It's all fucked. One of the assumptions is false, so yeah, we're entirely got it wrong. I don't know how far wrong we are, so like fuck. Oh my god, that is so nasty. Yeah, the undo button makes this really easy. Okay, let's start again, I guess, because fuck me, I suppose. No. Wow. Okay, so if 1 was easier to find and it couldn't be there otherwise, like the other thing is there anything that I could have learned? And the answer is, fuck, I don't know. So I have to reevaluate everything. Because I did delete everything, didn't I? Didn't I? Well, this 4 is free. This is an obvious 4. The other 2 columns are blocked. So, yeah. And this one's blocked by the other 4, so it's a solved 4. And then we have 4 in here or there. I assume this is the 4 because if the 1 couldn't fit there, the 4 should, right? And that leaves the option here for a 4. And then top side or this, and it's unclear. So that's not cool, but the rest I think is, we at least have that. Was there anything about 7? 7 is weird in the fact that I don't care. 3. 3 is in the same stalemate where I assumed, at least by looking at it and getting to that conclusion, it's like, okay, well, if it can't be a 1 in that position, it has to be a different number. So I assumed 4. And then if a 1 is, and I can't assume anything else. I literally can't. 9. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. It has to be 9 here. That is true. And then it has to be a 9 here or there. That's not telling a lot, but it also means that the 9 has to be here, which is good. That helps us a little bit. And then the 9 has to be here, which is true. So that's like, that's guaranteed. Okay, cool. And then the 3, it has to be in this box. That was, what the fuck was I on about? The 9, 9, 9, the 9. If the 9 and the 9, then the 9. But if the 9, then the not 9, the 9, the 9, the 9. 9? I don't know, that's ambiguous. Ambiguous, I tell you. God. 1 equals 1, 1. Right? But also 1. If 1 may. But I am unclear. But if 1 1s, then does 1? 5 5s in the 5 hole. Five looks like it 5's there, but I don't know if like that's true. And 6 is like another. I'm very stuck. What's the best number to resolve? 3 doesn't look like it can be resolved easily, although there are very few places for 3. 7, 8, 9. 1 is ambiguous. 1? No. Can't work off that. How are the 4s looking? They are sort of looking solved, where there must be a 4 here or there, and that doesn't help a lot. And the 4s on the bottom is like here or there. So it's like this. Dum. Okay, let's say we have, let's see if we can solve. I think now we're at a good position, whereas before I think we had a false assumption from the start. Okay, so if I can't put a 7 in here, that means that these two numbers are very limited. They have to be either 7 and something else, and it leaves with one number. So is it a 5? It could be. Is it 8? Can it be an 8? Well, if 7 and 8 are here and there, 7, 8, and 5, but does that allow for other 5s? It's like, I don't know. But also, if the 5 is here, then the 5 is here. And if the 5 is here, pay attention, it can't be because it's there. So if the only way 5 is here, it is here, it can't be there. So because it can't be here. So it has to be instead in these positions, and the 5 has to be in these positions. So 7, right, has to be in these positions. So the remaining number, we've eliminated 5 and 7 because of this. So the remaining number is 8. So that means this is an 8 by elimination. I like it. It's wrong. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh my God. The last column has no 8. So 8 has to be here. But then if 5 is here, 5 can't be here. So what the hell is happening? I feel like I'm missing something and I hate it so much. What the heck? Like, it can't be 7 because so it has to be 8. If 8 is there, 8 has to be here. If 5 is there, 5 has to be here. But we can't do either of those. They can't both be there. And they also literally cannot both be there. So, and if 5 and 8 are there, then that means this 9 is wrong and um right? No, that 9 is correct. What? Okay, I'm upset. I don't know what's real anymore, dude. Contradictions are messing me up. This 9 is correct. It has to be because the other solid 9s eliminate everywhere except for that spot. Okay, then I look at 5 and 8, and it's like 5 and 8, 5 and 8, 5 and 8, 5 and 8, 5 and 8. But where are they? They are in these two positions. So if a 4 has to be anywhere, it has to be here. Because we put the 4 there. Only because we put the 4 there. So if we don't put the 4 there, then that means the 4 could be here instead. And that means the 4 could be here instead. And that resolves better. Except for now we can't put a 4 in this box. Oh my God. If 4 goes in the middle somewhere, anywhere, it's either here or there. I don't know what the hell exists. I don't know what the hell exists. This feels like it's not solvable, or I'm getting something completely wrong. And that's why I don't like this. Because I feel like I could solve this if it was on paper. But I can't solve it digitally. Because there's noise or something. So like, if 3... I don't know. If 9... What if... What if the 4 is here? Right? Okay, the 5, 8, 5, 8, 5, 8. There's a lot of 5, 8s stuff happening. Where the 8 is blocking here. So it has to have stuff happen. And we know that 5, 8 cannot go anywhere except for here and there. So 5 and 8 cannot be here. They are eliminated from those spaces. So that means they have to be here and here, which is impossible. Five eight has to be here and here, right? Which eliminates it from here. And wait, no, this is unsolvable. It is unsolvable. Look, 5 8 is blocked here. It's blocked in these free blocks already. And it's blocked here. So 5 8 has to be here and here, which means 5 and 8 have to be in that block. And they cannot. There's only one space in this. It has to be both 5 and 8 in the same square. And that can't happen. Am I stupid, or is this not a solvable puzzle? What does candidate mean? What? Okay. Let's go for the logic again. 5 8, 5 8, 5 8. If we look at, like, there's nothing written down. None of my numbers are here. It's just what's given. So if 5 and 8 is blocking here in this column, so it cannot be here, then it has to, and it cannot be in these 4 sections, or that's, like, this entire T is blocked. So there can only be 5 and 8 in here and there. Let's say we did that, because regardless, that's where they have to be for the sake of the entire row set. So then that means 5 8 is blocked here and there and there and there and there and there. So the only place you can put a 5 or an 8 is this block. Okay, 5 could go there. Because 8 can't, so 5 would go here. Shut up. Shut up? These don't have to be resolved, but that does... Okay, I'm stupid. 8 was the... Shut up. I get it. I get it now. I understand it now. Also, 5 5 5 5 5 5 8. If 5 cannot and 5 cannot, then 5 must, or it must. Which doesn't resolve, but it does help, because if it must be there, and if this also must have a 5 somewhere in the box, then that means that is a correct 5. We're on to something now. Now this is a correct 5. Now this is a 5. And then with all of that considered, it doesn't give us the last 5 8 pair, but it gives us a lot. We have solid numbers now. I thought it was unresolved. Shut up. I don't know. I don't understand why. It doesn't matter. Okay, so 5a, 5a. We've solved for that much. And then 7, if 7, 7, 7, then 7, 7, 7. Looking at 4 as an idea. 4, 7, and what is another number? 9. Okay, well, 9 is blocked. And then you have 9 and 9. Which, if 9, then 9 doesn't. And 7 is blocked. 9 and 7 are blocked, which means that number is known. It's the remaining number, 4. It has to be 4 there. I'm sorry, I had a mental block before. Now I'm on the right track. So far. Right? And then if 4 4s, then 4 cannot 4 unless 4 is 4. Henceforth and forth. I don't know. With no, 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 yes. That's the 4. And then if 4 4s, then 4 4s. 4ly. And then if 4 4s. If 4, then 4. If 4, then 4. You get me? So I don't know. But we got 4s now. So that's something. And 3s are still blocked. I will not psychic the 3s. Except for 3 versus 3 is fine. It's interesting about, okay, so what are these numbers? 7 and 9. Okay. That's not resolvable. Well, blah, blah, blah. 7, question mark, is the only way to Geronimo. That's a Star Trek reference. God damn it. There's a 1. I think that's a 1. If this is a 1. Because 1 or 1 doesn't tell me anything. But we have a 1, I think. Maybe. But then 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. Um, 3, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Look at the 5s. Oh, wait, 5 is... How solved is 5? Is 5 not solved? Is 8 not solved? The 5-8 system was like... It worked for a lot of it. And then... Oh... Wait, if 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, then 8, right? That's an 8. It is. Okay, cool. And then if 8 and 8, then 8 or 8. But if 8, then 8. So 8, right? Because 8. Yeah. Five things. 5 things. 5 things. 5 things. 5 things. 7. Okay, bottom row. 7 in the hop, 7 in the middle, 7 here for sure. Okay, those ones seem to be interesting. Those two blocks perhaps carry more weight than I expect. Majahape. How does 4 look? 4 looks kind of solvable. Because if 4 4s, then 4 4 4 4 4. It's either 4 or 4 and 4 or 4. We've said that. I am unclear. Dang it. 5s, 4s, freeze. 2 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. But if 2, then where goes 1? I don't know where's 1. It's almost bad as 2. There's only 1 2 and there's 2 1s. That's a funny number. 2 2s, 2 1s. 1 2 2 2 1. First name Chandra. The number 3. Oh, that is a 3. Aha! We have solved for that, at least. Which resolves that it cannot be here, at least. Doesn't solve for anything else. But we have something. Okay, what about 7? 7, 7, 7. Not 7. Ooh, interesting. What is not? So 2. 2 is unresolved. So if 7, 7, then 7 is not 7. Ooh, interesting. That is not a 7, because it has to be in the bottom row. Because otherwise you can't get 1 into this box. So that's 7 is telling. And if 7 sevens, then 7 sevens. What you ever do? I'm unclear. Brain fart. Although this feels like a thing that could be solvable. Wait, if 2 is 2, then 2 cannot 2. And if 2 is here, 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 and here, here, it can't be here. So that's not a 2. Interesting. So it could be a 7. So if these 2 are 2s, possibly, one of them is, for sure. That's the only place a 2 can be in that box. And, okay, so what are the other 3 numbers? We have 7, 2, and 1. So if you can't put a 1 here, for example, and a 7 needs to go somewhere, and a 2 has to go somewhere, 3 numbers can't fit in that space, so, and 2 can't go here, so, yeah, 2 are at the bottom. 7, 2, and 1 are in that column. You have to put a 7 in the bottom here. And I'm stuck. 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. No. 6? Very limited information. Six has... Okay. Well, I mean, okay, stupid. If 6 is blocked, that means this is a 6. Guaranteed. Right? Okay, and then that leaves us with unclear, but it's something. So it's just 7 and 2. That's interesting. I didn't, so 6. Yeah. My yogurt, fruit is going bad. Must eat before it spoils. Okay. I think we're on the right track with everything so far. Nothing is incorrect now. For now. This doesn't give me anything. Hmm. Five, 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 five. 5, 5, 5. Wait, is 5 solved? 5 is just 2 numbers away. Wait, if 5 and 8 are the remaining numbers, and 8 must be here in this column, in this row. Um, oh God. Brain. If 4 fours, then I wrote, like, can I resolve 1? That'd be great. So if 1 is here, 1 could be here without interfering with everything except for this one, which, if it was there, then it would block something, 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 something. It's not so much like hints, it's more like, oh my God. And 9. Well, that's very limited. 9. Very simple. It is required. And then if 9 nines, then 9 doesn't 9 elsewhere. then 9 has to be here because it can't be anywhere else in that row. And then if those 9s exist, then well, obviously that means this is a 7, which makes this a 7. Since the number 7 Okay. And then that means 7, 7. 7 and 2. If 2 cannot, then something, something, something. I mean, this is number 1 and 2, so it's like, it's a limit to a lot of things. And 1 is blocked everywhere else, so it has to be a 1, and that means this is a 2. That's kind of obvious. Now, if only I could just automatically see all of this junk. Like, 2 is blocked everywhere except for either here or there, possibly. Oh, we have 2 bingos. Let's keep going at it, I guess. 2 has to be in this column. The only way it can be in that column is if it's in that spot, because it can't be in the other box, and that's the only free space. So there you go. That's an easy 2. I remember when D&D had, oh, if 2 2s, then 2 doesn't 2, because it cannot be 2, so it must be 2 of these 2, you know? That makes sense, right? I think it makes sense. For some reason. I think it makes sense. How about if if 7 sevens, then 7 doesn't 7. If 7 2, then 7. And wait, what's the last number? Oh my god, so simple. Easy free number, it's a 6. Yay. That resolves that. And then if it's 7 and 2, the remaining number is 8. That makes sense. And if that 8 is solved, that means this must be an 8. This is the 5. Cool. Five is not solved yet. So we put it here, and it's solved. Okay. If one ones, then one doesn't one. If one ones, this then can 1. But if this one, this, that, 1, 1, 1. So not, it could be here, or there, there, or there. A lot of not. Complete. What is this number? It's a 3. How'd I pull that out of my butt? Well, it's the only way it can be in the box because the other two 3s block the other columns or rows. And if that 3 is solved, then this 3 is also solved. Okay. What's left in that? 1 and 6. Okay, so if 6 is here, six here. 1, 6, 1, 6. Oh, this is a 1. Whoopsie poopsie. This is a 1. I think. Let's not place it, but I think that's a 1. Oh yeah, then this is a 1. The remaining number is 6, which places a 6 here. If 6 and 6 and 6, 6 is more likely. Can't be sure. What are the last two numbers in that? It's 2 and 7. Unclear. Last two numbers here is 2 and 7. Well, if it's here, because you can't put a 7 here, so it could be here. This is the perfect place for a 7. Technically. Unclear. Let's look at 3 again. If 3 threes, then how's 5 looking? Was 5 solved? Oh, that's nice. Wait, if 1 ones, then 1 has to 1. That has to. Okay, cool. And if 1 is, if 1 can't be there, 1 can't be there, 1 can't be there, 1 has to be here. Eliminating the other sections in the row by the columns. And then that means that 1 has to be here. It cannot. then 1 has to be here. It can. Okay, that was... Ooh, okay. So that's cool. And if 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, then 1. 1 is solved. Nice. How is 2 looking? 2 is limited. Extremely. It must be here. 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 Cascade 2. It must be here. 2 solved. Final number 7. Must be here. Must be here. Must be there. Oh, this is like symmetric. I like that. Must be here. Remaining number 9. 7 is solved. If 9 nines, then 9 is 9. And if that 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, what is that number? That is a 6. And if 6, then this is a 6. It must be here. It must be here. 6 is solved. 3. It cannot be here. 4. No. 9. Maybe. Yes, it must be here. 9. 4. 4. 3. But a fucking bitch. Boom. 1 hour and 5 seconds. Oh, god damn it with the cascades. I love cascades. They are so good. It's like you solve one and then the other one is immediately obvious. Oh. Next. This is a hard one? Wait, what's different about this? I'm sorry, what? This doesn't look harder. This looks just as hard. 777. Um, 3. Oof. Well, if 3 doesn't, then 3 does. If 3 does, then 3 doesn't. If 3 doesn't, then 3 does. 3 can't. Like here is no, here is no. 4? How does 4 look? Well, 4 is extremely not known. 5, not known. 2's. Oh, I guess that there's less. It's not that there's less numbers, perhaps, but there's less information that is immediate by the numbers. Like their cross sections are less. So like if you look at 7, they don't really tell you a lot, except for it blocks everything except for this 7. That has to be a 7. So that's obvious. It must be here. And then if 7 is blocked and 7 is blocked, then it must be here or here. We don't know. I don't know. You might. But if it's here or here, then it means it's here or here specifically. So that's limiting. So it must be in that column, obviously. And it's here or there. Which means this one has to be in the bottom, I think. Unless it's here. God damn it, I don't know. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. If one ones, then one doesn't one. If one ones, then ones are one. That's at least one. Okay, cool. 9. 2 positions for 9 in the center. If 9, then 9, maybe? I don't know. 4, okay, if the 4, there are only 2 numbers that like genuinely only fit in those spots. I think I could do something with that information, but I don't know. There's an entire row, or column, I should say, and then there's this one number, and that one number is like very obvious that it has to be something. Could it be a 5? If it's a 5, then the other one must be here. If it's not, then it must, there's nothing to say. There's no information. 8. How does 8 look? Just randomly. 8 is not known. However, 8 is very limited in this and that. So therefore, 8 is unknown. Okay, whatever. So I have very little numbers. Holy sheesh. Buckle up. Is it gonna be a fun ride? 2. Okay, well, here's the thing, right? I have no idea. 7's feels understood, but it's not. It's like, what? How does 3 look again? 3 is weird. Wait a second. Yeah, 3 has 2 positions in this block. And then based on that, it could be here or there or there. And if it do, then sing something, and it could be here or there, and it could be here or there, it could be here or there or there, and it could be here, there, or there, which doesn't give us a lot. God, I would love to have something. Just anything whatsoever. Like 5 and 5 means 5, which doesn't mean anything. Oh my God, yeah, okay, so this is harder. Interesting. Seven is all over the place. I think if I start with a hypothesis and then just remember, like, what was the last number I put in? I don't remember. I only have 7 and 1. Those are the two numbers I've solved. Okay, that makes sense. Because it's very, like... Wait, does that mean this block is, like, completely solved? Because 6 cannot be there. Can a 4 be there? Well, 4... Okay, hold on. 4 is 4 has to be there. Whoops. Oh my god, that square is like a Rosetta Stone. Okay, what about 2? How is 2 looking? We don't know. So it's 2, 5, and something else, and then I think that was... It's weird that when I look at a square and I'm like, okay, I analyze the entirety of the square. It's like, okay, sure. 6 or 6, and a 5. And then a 2. Bless you. Um, Shut the fuck up. Okay, wait, hold on. Stop. Because if 2 2s, then 2 cannot, 2 cannot, it has to be either here or there. It cannot be here. Okay, interesting. We've eliminated 2 from that position. So that means we have to have a 2 on the top somewhere else. It has to be either here or there. That's very limiting for 2s. Fortuitous, you might say. So if 2's 2, then 2 toodle. But if 7 7's, then 7 7's. And if, like, the problem is there's a lot of pairing off, and I didn't ask for this. No one's in chat. Okay, 6 is extremely limited, except for not. There's like no information about 6. But it does limit it as it has to be in those other spaces. So it has to be either 2 or 5 in that space, which doesn't help me. But if 2 or 5, and 5, and that means 5 in the other row. It's like there's only 2 positions for a lot of things. And the whole thing about the thing is the thing. 6 is limited. Wait. If 6 can't 6, then 6 must 6. Equipped. 6 or 6, because it can't be here. It can't be there, so it must be here or there. So it's like we've solved where 6's might be. What are the options for this game? Dark mode, light mode. Check guesses when entered. Auto error counter. What the fuck does that mean? I don't like any guesses or error counters or anything like that. Unless, like, there's no reason to be like blah 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 blah, because it's not... Nothing is an error. I don't understand how that even works. Oh, this is a 1 or a 1. That's limiting. Or a 1. Literally gives me no information whatsoever. 1 1 1. 1 1 1 1 1. How is 9 looking? Oh, 9. Or 9. And if 9, it doesn't block 9, but if 9, it blocks other 9s. And in the core, and presto, it's ready for birth. Five five 375. Like, ugh. 8675309. Um, if 8 can't 888, you know what I mean? Those are the two 8s. Every time I get a number, it's always at least two positions that it could be, and there's no like there's no micro guessing. I don't know why, but I feel like I hate that. Um, I remember when I already said that story. Oh, whatever. I need meat. Let's get a pepperette. I have yogurt. Let's have a pepperette. A pepperette for every minute. A bite of a pepperette for. Actually, I have hot ones. Chips. Thankfully, I want meat, not hot ones. For every minute, I would have to take a bite of a spicy chip. I don't think so. Thank you very much. I'll do a pepperette though because I can handle a pepperette, and that's less of a commitment. So to be clear, pepperette is spicy. Okay, so one bite. Okay, wait. If two twos, two can't do. If the two, oh my god, that's spicy. Like if two blocks these twos, obviously, okay, hold on. Stupid given, a two has to be here or there. It can't be in this row for that block. So then, if a 2 is there, it's here or there. What other numbers can we think about that? Well, what about 6? No information. What about 4? Okay, that's one of the two spots. Could be a 4. And the other one would have to be a 2. 3, 8, 9, 7. What about 5? 5 seems to not. I'm not getting any valuable information from this. Like if 5 fives, then 5 is there, and there. But if 5 vertical. 5. What about 1s for some reason? Well, a 1 could be here because of that. It would have to be in the middle for this block. And that's very open to interpretation. But if it's here, then the other one would have to be here or there or there. Oh no, it would have to be here or here. I think I got the numbers. I got 3 numbers in 17 minutes. Holy shit. I still think that that square is very telling. But then I'm at a standstill on it. If 1 is here, 1 has to be there, and that's not true. More pepperette. I want a hot dog. I smell pepperette and the pickle I had earlier, and I think hot dog. But there's no bun. But the entire sensation of hot dog is in my head. Hey, 7 has to be either here or there. So that's something. Which says nothing. But 7 cannot be here. It could be in these sections because it cannot be here. But it could be in these sections. But it cannot be here. So it could be in these sections. Ah. That tells me nothing. Oh my god, I need to turn on YouTube because I am not able to resolve any of this. What if I just, pause the stream, pause the game, and then come back to it later? That seems like a smart thing to do because I want to watch Star Trek and I don't want to play this anymore.